Loki, the TV show. Season 1, Episode 1, Glorious Purpose. Loki has found his purpose on his own TV show. What has happened after the events of Avengers Endgame, after, Thanos killed Loki and all that stuff, and after Loki stole the Tesseract, and he screwed up the timeline? Well, there's these people who did not appreciate that. And they're the TVA, they're the Time Variance Authority, and they run everything around here. And nothing can mess with the timeline. You know why? Because as soon as one person messes with the timeline, which they are called variants, these variants create multiverses. And they're not allowed to. Loki has done that. He's a variant that needs to be put back in his place. He needs to go back to his own reality, his own timeline, so he could see his mother die, his father, Asgard being destroyed, and Thanos could kill him. The Time the Time Authority doesn't want that. They want him to go back to original timeline. Loki sees all this stuff. He witnesses mother death. He goes through so many emotions. And again, this is a different Loki. This is not the same Loki that was in Door the Dark World. Has all these memories. He witnesses. He doesn't have the entire memories of his mother dying and all that stuff. He doesn't have those memories. He just sees in a special device that the agency has, and they show him his future. And ultimately, this show is going to lead to a very, in my opinion, predictable route where they're going to go to Loki, because we all know they're not going to kill Loki off in a TV show. If they were going to kill him off, they should have died in Avengers Endgame, which he ain't. He ain't going to be a character that's going to be killed off. But for this premiere episode that you get, we get a lot of stuff good with Loki. We get the whole psychological thing about Loki. He does not like to hurt people, does not like to kill people. He only does it so he could create that illusion of control, of power. And what the entire theme of this entire show will be: can we change our destinies? Can we right our wrongs? Can we have that whole time stuff about that? We cannot change our destiny. Your entire life was always meant to end by Thanos. Loki's trying to change that. And more than likely, this show, since it's going to be an uplifting show, and this is Disney, we're not going to have a very sad drama aboard. We're not going to have that. We're going to have a very uplifting show that we got in, technically, WandaVision and in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're not going to have Loki dying. We're not going to have freaking Loki going super evil again. No, we're not going to have that. We're going to get his ultimate redemption, him surviving probably, and ultimately we're just going to have a good time with Loki's storyline, which is all we need. So the premiere episode for Loki's Season 1, Episode 1, Glorious Purpose, was awesome. It wasn't awesome to me. It was just, it did its job. It started the timeline. It started what our characters are going to be going through, and they started off some side characters. Let me talk about some side characters, by the way. There's this one time officer named who's played by Owen Wilson. He needs Loki because there's other variants that are causing problems in the timeline, and he needs Loki helps to stop them. Thing is, though, Loki has to fight Loki, and not at the end and all that stuff. But he says, we need you to help us stop another variant. Loki says at the end of the episode, who? Basically, hey, you. So Loki's gonna fight Loki. Now, a lot of people are like, how's this gonna be? And the thing is, though, the only way they can make this interesting if they introduce Lady Loki. And here's the thing. This director of who made Loki and all this stuff, and they always say that Loki is now gender fluid. Now, here's the thing. I'm very skeptical always when any media, any Hollywood stuff, puts anything for representation. Because you know why? There is good representation and there's bad. And yes, there is a bad representation when you force it down your throats. Bad representation is Captain Marvel, where they're literally playing, I'm just a girl. It's like Batwoman, I'm a woman. Or you could get true feminism, like Wonder Woman, the movie, the first one, great. Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. There's certain things you could do it correctly. So if they do this whole Lady Loki and all this stuff, and or Lady Loki versus male Loki and all that stuff, let it be. I don't care. But then again, I do not trust them anyway to make this. The problem is, though, Marvel is going on a whole, not like social justice warrior, but they have an agenda, and it's kind of obvious. So to me, this TV show Loki, the entire show, what I'm seeing right now, the first episode was the standard, but to me, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be probably dang freaking predictable. I mean, if we're doing, the fact is that I'm seeing articles just constantly about him being gender fluid. I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? Then we see that Loki might attack another Loki, or Loki is causing some of the time authorities to be killed off. So Loki's gonna have to fight Loki. What would be the point of a duplicate unless you're gonna make a lady Loki and all this stuff? And I don't know if that's gonna be good for some audiences. I don't know how they're gonna represent it. The thing is with Marvel, Marvel has a good track record of making stuff doesn't feel like it's being forced on your throats, like political messages and all that. But for me, don't have a lot of faith in them. I mean, I love Loki as a character, but when Thor Ragnarok came along, he became this goofy, dumb idiot. He became Thor. And I know it, and you could see at the beginning where how he's just like, oh, like, I'm using my powers, and he's trying to use his power, and they're like, what is he doing? I mean, there's just a lot of political agendas that they have, Marvel, in so many cases with Captain Marvel, if even a little bit for Avengers Endgame. I mean, they always had some social justice warrior politics, and I'm starting to feel like it's going to come to the Loki TV show. And again, I don't know what's a big deal about him being gender fluid, but whatever. If people want that, go right ahead. But I really just want them to focus on Loki's redemption. I really want to focus on how Loki's just gonna, like, ultimately get his redemption, and how he's gonna probably could change his destiny, and then destiny is all it's not cracked up to be, and we are the masters of our own fate. We are the keeper of the soul. If they keep up that timeline, like that storyline, then this will be a solid, good show. I don't think the Loki TV show is going to be great. I don't think it's going to be terrible. I just think it's going to be, that was a good watch. Not the best thing, not the worst thing, but that's my predictions, basically. I know I'm going off of the original episode, but the original episode is just so standard. Again, you got Loki introduced to this new world, to the Time Authority, the TVA, whatever. The TVA, the authority figures that control time, and how they cannot let the original timeline become the multiverse. Loki obviously is going to be scheming around. He's going to be scheming around trying to take over them. He's trying to get their power. Then ultimately he's going to get his redemption. They're more likely not going to kill him, and they're going to let him live at the end. I don't think they're going to get a lot of twists and turns. I don't think they could pull off some WandaVision stuff. I mean, WandaVision, even though it was downright predictable mostly everything, I didn't expect her to have kids. I didn't expect her to introduce that storyline. But overall, I enjoyed Loki the TV show for the season 1, episode 1. It's a standard episode, but I have serious reservations what they're going to do for the next upcoming episodes. Will it be great? Will it be as great as Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Will it be as good as WandaVision? I don't know. But for the premiere, it's a standard good episode, and I enjoyed it. I'm just going to be very cautious of where they're going to take their storylines, and I'm just hoping they do not sacrifice story and the character of Loki over making a political message, because that's what they did with freaking Captain Marvel, and they did a piss poor job exploring Carol Danvers' entire story of who she is. And let's just say there's a whole rant. A lot of people don't like Captain Marvel for a lot of good reasons, and it's not just because of the little things. It's overall they sacrifice themes over story. Themes should never take over the aspects of the story. Themes should help make the story better. But to me, I don't have a lot of faith in Marvel. So to me, this episode of Loki, good episode, good premiere. Not going to complain about it, but overall, I am skeptical about the future. But it's a solid premiere. But what's your personal opinion, everybody? You think this was a good premiere episode? You think it was a terrible premiere episode? You think I'm jumping the gun? Or you just think I'm being, oh, you're racist or sexist? Or just so many dictionaries in the world. I mean, there's only words in the dictionary that people like to call me for saying the truth. But let me know what y'all think, everybody. My name's Elise. I'm Alfred, everybody. Bye.